I'm guessing, again, this was Japanese translation, where
Yes.
it got kind of strange.
Most likely.
I loved it. It made me laugh. These were fun bits. Boss fights, right? You get those announcements. Boss fight. And then you get told it's either Pinky Road, Captain Orange, right? And then they give you the name of, like, the robot or the scenario or something like that.
Yes, or their moves.
Right?
And that's what I thought it was. They gave you the names of the moves.
The second boss fight was rotor press, hard shoulder, breakwind. Another one was shining driver, dragon punch.
That is
whoa.
So incredibly Japanese.
It's like keywords in a sentence, so it's cool.
I love it. Welcome back to a brand new episode of everyone's favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick. Are you well?
I'm tired, thank you.
It's kind of well, kind of not well. I don't know. It depends what you've been doing. Out clubbing, right? You've been out there with
Yes, sure. Out clubbing. No, I guess slightly tired because this is the second episode we're recording this morning.
That's right. We got a roster.
We just finished recording Tiny Toon Adventures. Great NES game.
Yeah.
Well, good NES game.
Yeah, for its time, yeah, by all accounts, yeah.
And now we're immediately jumping to the next game.
I kind of like it's like the next generation. Because is this the next generation after?
It's cool, we're going from the third to the fourth.
Yeah, right? I thought that's kind of fun,
16-bit. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And there's a big change, by all accounts.
It does. But this is different corporations. That was
very true.
That was Nintendo and Warner Brothers. This is Sega and who made this game? Oh, we'll get into it. Sorry.
We'll get in. Do you not say Sega? And granted, I'm probably showing my age again now. Do you not instantly hear Sega? That's right.
Of course.
That's how Sega should be pronounced. No one should ever just say Sega. It's Sega.
No, it really is. Or if you're from a different generation, Sega.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, I know the one it's all about. You've got to say it that way. But yeah, you're right.
It's one or the other. I don't have a problem with.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just say it normally. That's not allowed.
Where did that come from? Just this quick shouting, Sega.
I don't know, but I think
is that one of their fighting games?
No clue. I wish I had that deeper knowledge to pull through for Sega games. You could be right. You could be right.
Maybe it's the next generation. What was after the Genesis? The Dreamcast?
Oh, it could have been the Dreamcast, yeah. And the N64. Was that after the Mega Drive?
It was, yes. The Genesis was with the SNES.
Yeah, on the Sega Saturn.
When was the Saturn?
Oh, I can't remember. But the Saturn was the first one to get discs, I think.
Oh, so then that must have been after the N64. I don't know.
I don't know.
The Sega consoles is such a blind spot for me.
Yeah, same. I only had the Mega Drive. That was it.
I didn't have any of them. I just had the emulator.
Well, that just makes me better than you. Sorry.
It does.
No, I did. No, I remember getting that as a kid. It was great times. £200 years ago.
Oh.
£200. It was a lot of money to buy a console. That was a great time.
It's still a lot of money.
There was a ton of cash. Again, it's funny how gamers and everyone who listens, you have fond memories of getting a console or a game and stuff. And I can still picture going to Toys R Us to buy the Mega Drive.
Really?
I don't know, 7 or 8 or whatever age it was. No, it was a long time ago.
That is such a good memory.
No, it is cool. It's cool.
I remember, I think my first console was the Nintendo Wii.
Classic, yeah.
Which is a bit later than most. I never had a PlayStation 2.
No.
I got it with a cell phone contract. But I was out. So when I got home, my dad just put the Nintendo Wii on my pillow, on my bed.
Cool. That's cool.
I've not felt as elated since just coming home and seeing a Nintendo Wii on my bed. Oof.
Yeah, it's like seeing you must have seen those YouTube videos and stuff of those kids that unwrap Nintendo Switch, and they just lose their minds. Full on lose their minds because they're of the great present they've received this Christmas.
Of course, an N64 mother, I will commence apeshit.
Yeah, exactly right. Like it's full on emotion, just like something they've never felt before. It's great. I love those little clips. But we all have, I'm sure everyone listening and ourselves, we all have fond memories, and just makes us smile when you go back.
Yeah.
Or in regards to you, something you can repeat for your kids.
Yes,
right? So you've got that. You got that. You can do it the
Flynn
same way.
Is already. He's coming back from school, and then he asks me, Dad, can I play Astro's Playroom?
And you go, son, no, I'm playing Astro's Playroom. No, that's cool. I get what you mean. He's becoming a little version of you, right? Like he's literally what.
Yes,
what
I mean, I wouldn't want him to though. He needs to be himself. But I'm glad he's enjoying a hobby that I can share with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing Astro's Playroom, Little Big Planet, all those good stuff games. Yeah, and Thomas, his little brother, is sitting next to him and just watching.
Ah, that's a classic.
Right?
I used to do that with my brother. I just watch him play all the time.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It is. I can see it happening in real time.
Yeah, exactly. You can see, and you can almost see the player 2 and player 3 just symbols above their heads, right?
Granted,
you're
Flynn
ready.
Flynn still sucks. He can't play games yet.
Yeah, right. He needs training. He needs his own training montage.
One day he does need a training montage. He's just gonna punch a skinned cow in a cold room.
Yeah, exactly. With he's the best there is
around.
That was playing in the background. Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna happen.
Write that down.
Anyway, again, just like our Tiny Toons episode, let's move on back about 30 years. Right. 30 years to the 4th generation of consoles to when this game released. David, how about you let us know, what did we play this week?
This week's game is, I swear I'd heard of it, never played it myself. I think it did make waves when it first came out. It's a game called Gunstar Heroes, which I know I saw on the shelves, and I know I remember seeing it, and it did. Yeah. No, it was quite big because it's, as we'll talk later, it's not a bad game. This was for, as we said, the Sega Mega Drive or the Sega Genesis, depending on which part of the world you're from. And this was developed by a company called Treasure. And does that mean anything to you, Nick?
The logo looked familiar, but I can't remember where I've seen this logo before.
They were the developer of one of the other games we reviewed not too long ago.
Really?
Really?
What? Wait, what game? I want to go take the list. I want to take a look at the list, but I don't want to take a look at the list because the list intimidates me. All hell the list.
Oh, it is. No, it's staring all the time. All hell the list. Okay, I'll let you in. It was Wario World. They were also responsible for the Wario World game. For
Yes, Wario World. Good game.
And but to their credit, they actually did quite a few games that many out there might have heard of. You may know the game called Dynamite Headdy. That was quite big.
I don't.
You don't know Dynamite Headdy? Oh, sorry. This was the same thing when you told me you don't know Charlie's Circus, whatever. I was like, what the hell are you on about? Dynamite Headdy was a classic. But anyway,
was that also for the Genesis?
Yeah, it was. It was another like platformy left or right, but your head could like detach and like hit things with you could hit people with your head. They also did a Yu Yu Hakusho game. They did Alien Soldier, like Crusader. They did a ton of work on this same type of genre of game, but they tried mixing it up. Also, like the arcade shooter types, you know, the way you get a little ship that you move left and right and dodge bullets. The bullet
what's
hell
that
ones.
Military shooter slug? Metal Gear Slug.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those types of games. So especially back in the day, especially in 1993. They slowly developed in pretty much one of the most sought-after game developers for a little time because of their success. Of
course, I can imagine.
I can imagine
this game being a success as well.
They actually all originally kind of worked at Konami, and then they had IP, Gunstar Heroes, which they went to Konami to push and say, we want to make this. Yeah. Sadly, Konami said no.
No.
We want to focus on the sequels to Castlevania and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All of which became a big success.
Yes, true. They did actually do well in that regard.
1990s Konami really had it going for them.
They really did. Yeah, no, that's very true. And so these gentlemen left, and then they founded their own studio, like 10 of them, or less than 10, I think it was. And then they went to other developers to see if they could make Gunstar Heroes, the game they wanted to make. And most of them said no, except for one developer at Sega, basically Sega, just as at the time, said, I'll give you a go and you can make McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure. Literally McDonald's, as in Trevor McDonald? Is that his name?
Ronald McDonald.
Damn it. I was like, Trevor McDonald? Who's Trevor McDonald?
Ooh, is it Harold McDonald?
No, I just think Trevor McDonald, I just realised, was a news broadcaster on English TV. Sorry. It just,
so he's a real guy.
He's a real guy. I just thought, where'd that come from? They got McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure, did a great job, and so Sega then gave them the green light to make Gunstar Heroes.
Oh, man. What a story. I'm so happy they got the green light.
Oh, definitely.
Can you imagine if this game did not see the light of day?
Yeah, that would be a crime. This game is in the top lists of like 1990s Sega console of like every top list you can find.
Great.
This is up there.
Great.
This was defining an era of Sega games to some degree. Yeah.
After playing this, I can totally see why.
Yeah, agreed. And a little nod to the other one. They also made a Game Boy Advance game called Tiny Toon Adventures Buster's Bad Dream.
No.
So they also, strangely enough, ties into the last game we just did. Yes,
what?
They were also on the
They also made Tiny Toon Adventures?
Yep. Weird, right? The list.
Oh,
sentient.
no.
It's sentient.
Oh, no. The list knows.
Yeah, you shouldn't be fearing all that. All hail the list. All hail the list.
Ladies and gents, a couple of you do not know, we've got this running joke that the list is alive.
Yeah, it is.
Each week, the list gives us a random game to make an episode out of. That's how we get these games. From this colossal list that's got 3,000 titles.
Yeah, it's loads. Yeah, loads.
This list is sentient.
It's funny. I just see like a dystopian future where they just replay this clip. Like, you know, you're living in the New Republic. Listen to what Nick was there in the first hand, and you're just like, this list is sentient. Yeah, exactly. I was there when it moved and it took over the internet. Yeah, so, no, the list is alive.
The list knows. So when you're telling me things like this, we just reviewed Tiny Toon Adventures, and now you're telling me Treasure, the developers for Gunstar Heroes, also made a Tiny Toon Adventures game.
Yeah, right. It's almost eerie.
Surprised and not surprised.
No, exactly. No, like I said, it's weird, right?
Yeah, all hail the list.
Okay, should we jump straight into the narrative then?
Let's do, because our points for narrative differ wildly.
Ooh. Like, okay, I didn't even notice that. Was I nicer than you?
No, you gave...
damn! You were super nice. Go on, okay, yeah.
I'm assuming you didn't finish the game.
Oh, that's a harsh assumption. Damn. That's like,
otherwise, you would have given the narrative.
I got good. I can get good at times. I didn't
finish the game.
I did finish the game.
What?
On easy.
You did?
Oh, well, yes, I did.
You finished the game?
Yes.
And you gave the narrative a 4?
I'm kind of getting insulted by what? You finished the game? What? Dave finished the game?
No, I'm insulted because you gave the narrative a 4.
The narrative is a 4 because it's... Okay. The narrative is like Japanese wackiness, which I love.
Yes.
But the narrative also made no sense, which I don't like.
This is the 90s!
I know, no, I guess
There's a Jamaican team on the bobsled Olympic race!
Don't I know it? But some people say we can't believe. Sorry, I don't go. Okay, let's jump into it. Like, this is... I have a very strange mind, right? Always happens. Yes. Now, yes. You play two protagonists in this game called Red and Blue.
That's right.
Which, granted, not the most inventive names in the world, but my mind instantly went to Pokemon. So then I developed a story of Pokemon are gone. Red and Blue are the last hopes for humanity, so they team up to take down the... That's right. It's just like dystopian. Ash and Gary are just like, they're the only ones who can help us.
You need to get the 4 Pokemon badges.
Yeah, right? So this... And, okay, Red and Blue, okay, I don't know. I'm guessing there was a lot that was wrong with this because of translation, right? Because even the bad guys are called Pinky, Road, Captain Orange, Red Falcon. You know, the main boss is called Golden Silver. Golden Silver.
Yes, but you saw what he looked like. You knew what he was. Yeah. He was the Destructor.
Yeah, it was descriptive. He was golden and silver.
And so he was the Destructor.
He was the Destructor. Yes, you're right. I just think
you're missing one of the main bad guys.
What,
the one
Bison?
bad guy with the most emotional baggage. Green.
Oh, you mean Green?
Yes, I mean Green.
Yeah. I know Green. Yeah, no doubt. Green was out there, and he did have a lot. Here's one thing. Did you know though that there's actually 2 narratives, Japanese and American? Or
no, I didn't.
Yes, they actually did not release with the same narrative. The Japanese.
What's the difference?
I don't understand this. Okay, a quick rundown is in the Japanese version. Originally, red and blue saved the planet and had to go into stasis because they've done what they've done, and the heroes went back to status. And then later on, they find out that the world's in danger again, and they've lost their memories. And they have to help defeat Gold and Silver again. Yep. But Green has lost, he's got amnesia, and he doesn't know which side is good anymore, and that's why he fights on the other side. And bling, blang, bling, you killed Gold and Silver again. But in the American version, Professor White defeated Gold and Silver originally. Oh. And the... Colonel Red, or I'm going to call him M. Bison because he just looks like M. Bison.
Okay, M. Bison.
He takes a mind controlling device and puts it on Green and controls him on his side to fight his, I'm guessing, brothers.
Is that the one we played?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And told him that the gems are going to help the world, and he get confused, and the gems aren't, basically, yeah. So yeah, 2 different versions. There's a little bit more plot in there that I've not really said. But...
A little?
Okay, go on. What have I missed?
Well, okay, alright. Okay, so Green, you're right. Let's go with he's your brother. Mm-hmm. Your brother. And throughout this entire game, your enemies. He's got the longest boss fight
he's a long boss fight. No doubt. That's
ever had to fight.
Yeah, yeah.
In the second level, the mind, you're fighting Green, and his contraption takes 6 or 7 phases.
The different robot thing, is at that level?
Yes! That's more phases than the end of Elden Ring.
Well, yeah, that is true. I can't argue that part. That's very true. It does have more phases than Elden Ring.
After you've finished all 4 levels... on the level select screen, you'd think, okay, cool, now it's the final level, and then it's game over. No, not true. M. Bison and Green has kidnapped your sister, Yellow, and they've tied up the professor. So Yellow. On the level select screen, is a bit visuals, you find out, they're still my sister, and you need to go get Yellow, because Green and M. Bison took them. And then you're contacted by M. Bison through the level select screens. Jesus, that's visuals, I'm sorry. And then it's just one massive, massive chase until the very end. You get Yellow, you defeat M. Bison and Gold and Silver, and it ends. Okay. You know this. It ends with M. Bison going past you, teaming up with you to take down the Destructor, because he's going to end the universe.
That's right. That little weird space scene.
Yes, it's not weird. Right. Just he has a change of heart, and they realize they need to band together.
That's right.
And Gold and Silver absolutely annihilates M. Bison.
That's very true.
Only from the distance you finally see a big familiar robot, right? Piloted by none other than Green. Green is taking this robot with 7 phases that you fought earlier in the game, and he sacrifices himself. He sacrifices himself after a tiny monologue that says, I'm sorry, this is because of me, and now it's gonna end because of me. And then he crashes into this. It's good, David. I cannot believe you gave this a 4 out of 10.
Ladies and gents, just spoilers. Maybe we're a bit late with saying that, but
spoilers for a 30-year-old game.
Okay, yes, that bit was kind of dramatic. That was probably the best narrative note in the game.
It hit hard.
I'm going to sacrifice myself for the world. Remember me, brothers. I think they do kind of look alike. So, okay. Let me just. I'm guessing again. This was Japanese translation where it got kind of strange.
Most likely.
I loved it. Made me laugh. These were fun bits. Boss fights, right? You get those announcements. Boss fight. And then you get told it's either Pinky Road, Captain Orange, right? And then they give you the name of, like, the robot or the scenario or something like that.
Yes, or their moves.
Right?
That's what I thought it was. They gave you the names of the moves.
The second boss fight was rotor press, hard shoulder, breakwind. Another one was shining driver, dragon punch.
That is so incredibly Japanese.
It's like keywords in a sentence, so it's cool.
I love it.
Those bits are good, but maybe I was being grumpy, maybe I was in the mood. I just thought, why can't we be called Clint or Steve or Marcus or something?
Because this is Gunstar Heroes. This game starts running and doesn't stop.
You can't be called. That'll give you.
You can't be called Clint or Clive Rossfield. No. You need to start this game, and if you didn't murder 10,000 minions in 2 minutes, start over.
I must admit, it gave me Reservoir Dog vibes, which I don't know if you get that reference. Do you get that reference, Nick? You must have heard the movie Reservoir Dogs, right?
Yes.
There were a whole group of people who were planning a robbery or something, so they give them names. Instead of using their names, they give them colours. It's Agent Red, White, Blue, Purple, Green. And so I had that because everybody was called colours. I did have a slight flashback to Reservoir Dogs and thought I should watch Reservoir Dogs.
I think Reservoir Dogs should be on our list for critical cinema.
It most certainly is, I'm sure.
If anyone wants to listen to us talk about Reservoir Dogs, go take a look at our Patreon.
Yeah, we do a lot of movies there. Like I said, and Nick hasn't watched anything. It's very strange.
No, I've not watched Reservoir Dogs. I have heard Martin Scorsese knows what he's doing.
Yes, very true. Very true. Okay. We'll say the narrative ends on a high. I guess wasn't...
ends. The entire thing, Dave.
No, but... Okay, I wasn't explained... We collected all these gems and jewels, right? Yes. To help, power a ring or whatever, cliched. I don't know what they were for. But then the gems were the bad guys.
The gems awakened the bad guy. I think gems are neutral.
There was a boss fight where you had to attack the gems. Like, there was 4 floating gems.
Oh, you're
right. And you then had to attack them. So were the gems sentient? Were they... The gems were there
maybe the gems just activated the Destructor. Because the moment you destroy the gems, the Destructor's not gone. He's just free.
Right? Yeah, he's... I don't know why were the gems attacking you then. I don't get it. Okay, maybe I missed a few narrative points and I just got lost. I don't know why.
I don't think there's anything to get. If I take a look at action movies from the 80s and 90s, there's a lot less to get and a lot more to just watch, take in.
Yeah.
Just take in the set piece because it's key.
There was one cool bit that kind of bugged me.
Yeah.
I don't know what colour he was, but there was one bit where you beat up this dude in a suit, and he died, and he threw the gem at you and said, "There you go," and it was a fake gem.
Yeah, it was a bomb.
Me for like 20 damage, and I was like, "Damn it! How did I fall for that? It's so dumb." and then he threw the second one, and I'm like, "Whoa, okay."
Well, I mean,
is that one real? Like, slow it down. But yeah, I fell for his stupid little trick, and that really bugged me.
I can only imagine that there must have been tons of people who fell for it and then died.
Yes, I would have been pissed. I would have been so pissed if I died at that moment. Luckily,
I don't know. I think it's flavor. Yes, it's not. It's got a mechanical element to it, which is cool. But if it did make you die, that's not cool.
Yeah, it really isn't. But it's kind of the thing they do in, I know it's a weird comparison, Dark Souls games, right? When they give you that chest where if you just go greedily to grab it,
you're right.
Falls on you just die. You just fundamentally die. Because it's funny to game developers to do that to people. Granted, if I was a game developer, I'd do the same thing because it is funny from their perspective, just not from the players.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else narratively then? Like,
I think there is a lot that I did enjoy. Again, this game can be completed in an hour and a half.
Yes, it can.
It can. You need to be good though.
Yeah, that's undoubtedly.
Were there difficulty options? You said you completed this on easy.
Oh yeah, in the options, you could go in the option screen.
I had no idea. I died all the time.
I played it mostly on normal, and then I thought to myself, well, I want to complete this and see, how it goes. So then I changed it to easy. Because I'll give it to its credit, the difficulty level wasn't super horrible. Like, it wasn't super hard. It gave you some life, it gave you some ability to dodge attacks and stuff like that. It was just a learning curve, fundamentally.
Yes.
Which a lot of these games don't have back in the day.
I wouldn't say I managed that learning curve as gracefully as you did.
Did you use a controller, I take it? You couldn't play this.
I did. I used the controller. The same Logitech controller that the submarine used at the Titanic.
Yeah. Did you read that there's a car that just came out now that you can use your PlayStation controller to drive? And everybody's like, yeah, that worked out so well last time, didn't it?
Yeah, good job, Sony.
Yeah, well done. Okay, anything? Should we jump to visuals then?
Let's go into visuals. I've got a couple of notes here.
Okay. I have one. Again, maybe I missed this. Why are some people tiny?
Oh.
I don't understand.
Some people are tiny, you're right.
Are we huge, or are some people tiny?
Some people are just tiny.
And we're just supposed to be okay with that? Is that
yes,
just like,
that's
okay.
Discriminatory.
Like, what? They weren't small, ladies and gents. They were like the size of your foot. Granted, there was some funny boss battles against them. I'll give you that. But I was like, did I miss the part where humanity, like, some shrunk, but some stayed their size?
It just started like that. In the intro video, you can see there's Yellow looking at the big ship. Yeah. And there are all these tiny dudes all around her. I don't know what's going on. I've no idea. Are they like the Ewoks? Are they supposed to be the Ewoks?
I was thinking the same thing, like the Pekininis and brownies in like Willow. I'm guessing they were just a small species of people.
Yeah.
They slightly reminded me of like the character design of the Canadians in South Park.
Oh yes, just
with their
big
heads
flappy heads.
They're kind of silly, and I'm guessing that's the reason. They were just a silly, fun idea. God bless the Japanese for adding these weird things into games, because
yes, thank you. Please keep doing that, Japan.
They confuse us a great deal. So there isn't a narrative point to tiny people. There are just tiny people.
But just an extension to that. The tiny people are tiny and look odd, but why does our heads look like potatoes?
They are relatively large and weird shaped, but
everyone else looks cool and distinct. Why do we look like potatoes? Why?
I thought, okay, I give you that the proportions.
We murdered hundreds of thousands of people in this game.
We had great hair though, so that's true. I was like, whoa, yeah, hair bands.
Yeah, that's almost Chrono Trigger hair.
Yeah, it really is. There was lots visually that confused me though. I did like there's a health bar. I know that was a really strange thing, but I swear back in the day, Mega Drive games, I know it's numbers, but yes. I kind of enjoyed the idea that I knew how much damage I was doing to the bad guy, and if it was a lot or not. And there was one great thing, and I don't know, I should probably save it for gameplay. But I'll just say there was one you could become a firebender. That's all I'm gonna finish on that.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
It really is. Let's save that for gameplay, because I think I know what you're talking about.
And the first level, right? You play through the first level, and this is kind of a hectic game, ladies and gents. There's I was like, whoa, damn! There's people from the left, from the right. They're rolling, they're flying. There's a weird little dodo thing that drops health things, and you're shooting all the time.
The entire time.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave's not kidding, ladies and gents. You do not let go of the fire button.
You really don't. Or you're in for trouble. Yeah, you just keep it pressed. And then the first bad guy, we got to this scene. I can't remember what the bad guy was called. And I was standing there thinking, what's going on? Where's the bad guy? And then these things started falling from the sky. And so I started dodging them and I was shooting. And I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? I fundamentally thought it was bugged. And then I realised that the weird asparagus-looking thing in the background was the bad guy.
That's the boss.
It was just a green asparagus stick.
That's it. It's just a giant piece of celery.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sad because all the other, like you said, all the other boss fights are actually quite imaginative and fully filled out and different phases and different moves stuff. This was just an asparagus that moved left and right when you shot it. I didn't.
Yes, but when it
understand.
spawned giant armadillo worms.
Oh yeah, that's right. They dropped those weird worm things that you just shot in the face.
I think this is a great first, introductory boss.
Yeah, but it's not really intimidating, is it?
No, it really isn't.
No,
it really isn't. But I still think it's fine. All the other bosses are distinct. You fight each boss 2 or 3 times, so that by the end, you know them.
Yes, it's true.
You can recognize them.
That's true.
Right. One of my favorite was the manly military man.
Oh yes, the one with the huge muscles and the
and a buzz cut. He fights you on a helicopter mid-flight.
He does.
And my favorite, I absolutely love this. One of his special moves is to grab onto the propeller.
Yeah.
And elbow dive.
Oh, it's great bit. Down. It was genuinely a bit I didn't know what to do. I didn't know you could hang underneath the helicopter.
So
I didn't know. I was like,
I found that hilarious.
Oh, it was a great
You're
bit.
just a big burly man. How are you gonna I know, I'll grab onto this helicopter's propeller.
Yeah.
That's how he fights. And how does that make sense? Oh, he's got muscles.
Right. And this is Japan we're talking about. Making sense isn't important.
No,
it
not
needs
at
to
all.
Look cool. There was a nice little. I swear it was a Pokemon reference. The first fight, I can't remember what's again. Oh, it's like Robot where there's a guy hanging on an arm and there's another guy inside the robot. I don't know if you remember it. And they did the whole Team Rocket blasting off again bit.
Oh yes.
Where he explodes and they all fly in the air.
And they're all blast off.
And there's that little ding in the air. It was like, ding! And it's like, oh yeah, it's strange. I wonder if those are nods to things, or is that just like a Japanese way of getting rid of a bad guy. But I like that. And the level designs were kind of great.
Yes.
Like really well thought. There was like one of the first levels. You're climbing up to jump onto a rocket ship, and you have to climb fast whilst killing people. And there's there's like fighting on a helicopter. There's a scene where you're kind of flying around on a mine cart type thing on a rail, like a rail shooter. And then of course there's a board game level.
Yes, board game level? You throw a dice, which is a mechanic in the game, and then you move the amount of space. It's like a real board game, and you do what that space says. I was stunned. This is cool. A Genesis game?
Yeah, that was out of nowhere as well. It's just this random what? Is this a bonus level? Bonus round? I don't know what's going on.
This clearly is a passion project by a studio that have been wanting to make this game for a long time.
Yeah, that's literally what it was. Yeah.
There are lots of instances where you're thinking, whoa, this is cool.
Very much so.
There's the boss fight of the ship's AI.
Yeah.
Right. And the Sega Genesis, at the time, one of its main features was Mode 7.
Yeah.
And I think they used that in this boss fight, where the arm of the ship's AI kind of looked like it's spun around.
Yes.
And the entire environment looked like it spun around as well.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
So it was making it seem like this 2D space was actually a 3D space.
Yeah, and if you look at the development of a game, that was very hard to do, and they were one of the first to actually be able to do that.
I can totally imagine that. That's impressive.
Yeah, because back in the day, you had to use squares, circles, and rectangles as your body structure. If you notice, like the bad guys, you notice their arms are either lots of circles or lots of rectangles that move, right?
Yeah. Because
that was the only thing you could really animate well in that regard, especially without destroying the graphics card and slowing everything down. But you're right, they did this really clever thing with the 2D animation in the background as well, and made it move, which did add another layer of like speed to what you're doing, pressure in regards to where you are, or if you're doing it in time. No, it was very well done. They were actually, I don't know exactly how, but if you look through reviews of the day when this game came out, everybody was blown away by the visuals of this game.
How did
what
this
they
not
achieved, right? What they achieved in this was insane.
How did this not melt consoles?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. And this game made the company. They released this one just before McDonald's because they wanted their first game to be released before it. And this game got so popular, it's the reason they got any other IP. It's the reason they got Mario. It's the reason...
That's great.
Oh, Mario, sorry.
That's... Yes. That's great, because this game absolutely deserves that. The studio
No, it was
deserves
great. Again, it's got that same... I think I probably played more Sega as a kid than I did Nintendo. And the nostalgia of just the whole thing is just so good. Visually, just the hair, the cutscenes, tiny little cutscenes. The boss fights were imaginative. Super crazy. Big monsters, weird little running monster, a box monster, a running monster that... Oh yeah, there was that one level where the running big ball monster actually went into the back scene and then came forwards again to fight you. It was like where he had his invincible frames or something when he went back. And he was running. He was a big running monster whilst you were running. Sorry, I just remembered that was really cool, well done visually. I can't remember what that whole scene was.
This entire thing, I'm very impressed with this game. There's my favorite visual element from this entire game is, I think, the final running level.
Yeah.
It's quite long. The final running level, it's after the ship AI boss battle, where you're looking at your game through the monitor of the bad guys.
True. That was great. Yes, you're right. I know that bit.
How creative, how imaginative is that? So you go through it's almost like a boss rush.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, true.
You go through the level and then you encounter a boss, but you only encounter this boss after seeing the interactions of the bad guys from the other side of the monitor that you're looking through. I don't know how to explain this, that it makes sense. You just kind of need to see it.
So you see the bunch of the bad guys, they're watching you on a monitor, and then you see one leave each time, and then you see that boss on the monitor you're watching fight you, right? Yes. And I loved it right at the end, after you defeated Green. The next door was the door into that monitor room, right? Yes. It was like, that was great.
I don't know if you've noticed, but each time after a boss leaves, they get to the player.
Yes,
red or
exactly,
blue,
yeah.
faster.
Yes.
So the first one leaves, and then it's a minute before they get to you.
Yes.
Green, who's the last one, leaves and is almost instantly on your screen.
That's right.
Such a small detail that just conveys that you're getting closer and closer and closer. Right. That's so cool. That is so cool.
That was super clever. No, they knew what they were doing. They really were paragons of their day in these things.
I like the small interactions they had on the screen as well. So the first boss you fight is this fat guy in a suit.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of cowers next to the big bad commander man.
Yes, yeah.
And then every now and then, the big commander man would just smack him away because he's busy controlling the monitor.
So the visuals in this game were just, like I said, it's funny how I wrote these notes down and then we keep just jumping to things we remembered, because there are so many nice little bits in this game.
There really
are just up there, right?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like with you sharing, I just didn't even, they're the things that I forgot. And like I said, that last level is so well designed. It's insane.
It really is. For a game that's 30 years old.
Yeah, you keep telling that. I just remember I'm over 30. Like, every time. It's 30. I can't believe these are 30 years old. I've got so many fresh memories of
games is such a new medium compared to film and music.
Yes, yeah. Entirely.
30 years being the majority of this medium's lifespan, that is a long time for video games.
No, it is. And it's weird to think that video games is now overtaking Hollywood and stuff in regards to money and crowd and audience and stuff like that. Anything else visually you need to...
There's a tiny thing that I just want to raise. It's so small. It just made me think. There's a level after they kidnap Yellow, right? You're on the city rooftops.
Yeah, okay.
Right,
yeah.
You can see the city in the background.
Yeah.
Cars moving, other apartment buildings and billboards. One of these billboards is an advertisement for Gunstar Gum.
Yes, I saw that one. That's right.
Which made me think, are the Gunstar Heroes that you're playing as celebrities and they've been commercialized?
I got you. Like, as lore to this game, are they like I said? Are they celebrities? They got that watch promos and stuff like that.
Yes,
no, it's cool.
It means nothing, but
no, it does. There was another picture back there of a detective, and I can't remember what that reminded me of. But no, it's true. They do that weird thing where they do it. Japanese do that in a lot of their games too. where they seem to put billboards of things that could tie into the hero or the bad guys and stuff like that. Again, it's a neat little visual trick to kind of pull you into the world a little bit more.
It's great. Right? It really is great. And it made me think for a bit. It's reminding me of the billboards in Arkham Knight.
Oh, yeah, geez.
That makes you do a double take because...
Of course.
Was that the Joker?
Yes, I remember the billboards in Street of Rage as well. There's... strangely enough, they just said clap, clap, and we do baseball and stuff like that because the translations were so shit. But I still remember to this day almost all those billboards because they just built the world.
Yeah.
It's clever designed game design in its own right.
It is. Okay, so audio.
Okay.
I don't know if you've got anything for visuals.
Did you listen to the audio soundtrack of this? Did you actually do your dishes to all the soundtracks of the games we
I tried to, but this one was a bit difficult. Mm-hmm. Because at all times there's such a huge amount happening on screen.
Yes, very true.
Right?
Very true.
There are dozens of enemies, hundreds of bullets flying all over the place. Everyone's jumping and landing and shooting and shouting. There's just... It's one massive cacophonous racket blaring from your television the entire time you're playing this.
Yeah.
And the music is frantic. The music is loud. The music makes you want to... It almost makes you feel like you've got ants in your pants and you want to run.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The music's not helping. But then I'm thinking that that must be the point of the game.
Yes.
To make you feel frantic. To make you have this adrenaline rush.
That's exactly what I wrote down too. Just the crazy... And it doesn't really drop.
No,
when you
doesn't.
Choose levels and stuff like that, but because you get a few boss encounters per level and stuff, that high energy, high rapid, high octane music and sound effects and everything just gives you that like you're a superhero. You are fundamentally a superhero.
Yes, but you're also 12 somehow.
Japanese, all their superheroes are teenagers. But yeah, it's that hecticness that everything, it all ties into one. But you're right. If you were to not play the game and just listen to this sounds in another room, you'd just be like, whoa, that's just a lot of noise all at once, right? That's just a cacophony of shooting and planes and dying and grenades and stuff. And you go, whoa, that sounds nonsensical. But then when you're playing it and you're dodging those grenades and you're moving out the way and you're jumping over the helicopters and stuff, it has a large degree, like you said, you are performing the impossible. You are saving the world. You are the ultimate hero at that very moment.
I did listen to a couple of the tunes. The one, though, the only sound I can remember from my childhood, because I played this game, I don't know, 20 years ago. I played this game, 2-player with my sister, and the only sound I can remember is... the how to say this, the first couple of seconds of the title screen. It's this big slow sci-fi tune with a fat synth, indicating only not only the time this was in with the 16-bit, but paired with the image on screen. I don't know if you can remember, it's this man that seems to be stepping out of an orbital laser.
Yeah, I can sort of remember that. It's
that image paired with the sound, it indicates the magnitude of your mission in this game. This game takes itself very seriously, and the music it goes along with the ride.
Yeah, and it's also the game itself is played in a sci-fi future-esque type of way, and the music comes across in a sci-fi Blade Runner type. Oh, a weird thing. Sorry, just reminded me. Did you know that this game was originally going to be called either Lunatic? Was it Lunatic Heroes? Oh no, a Lunatic Gunstar or Blade Gunner.
Oh,
as a montage to Blade Runner, but they
I like Blade Gunner.
Blade Gunner, but they liked the idea, but they figured they'd have copyright strikes by of course Blade Runner.
Yeah.
So that was their initial. They were actually inspired by Blade Runner in this game.
Oh damn, Blade Gunner!
But no, right?
Gunstar Heroes is fine.
Yes, they'd lost, and they got rid of lunatic because Sega didn't like the term lunatic, so they changed that word to heroes.
That would not fit here. Sometimes I feel like the gameplay is lunacy.
Nice. I think that's just a translation issue. I think sometimes lunatic.
I guess. The final point I've got in audio here, I was listening to a single track. It's the track that plays when you're fighting Bravo Man.
Ooh, which one's he?
It's the big blocky dude.
Oh, the big blocky dude, yes.
Yeah. It's daunting. Go listen to that track on its own without all the cacophonous racket. It starts with some wailing synths.
Yeah.
And that almost sounds like alarms going off.
Oh, okay.
Right? So from the music, you're almost getting this feeling that after all this insanity, now the alarms are going off. Meaning, now something big is coming.
Yeah, now you thought this was the worst, but now
right?
It's panic time, right?
And that's just from the music. This instantly and subconsciously puts the player on edge even more during the fight.
No. Which again, we got to remember that this is all just with very small compression, so it's insane how well they can put that across with with simple sounds and synthesized sounds and stuff like that. Right? It's all just digital.
It's impressive.
And one weird thing that I thought was the laughing audio of M. Bison was just really weird. He just went nah. It was three little weird like duck noises, and I was like, okay, was that? I give you they're trying to make him sound more evil, because an evil laugh, of course, is a great audio prop. But his was a little, I don't know, rushed or didn't seem right. That's just me nitpicking.
No, but that's just because we know what Kefka sounds like.
Mm.
There's absolutely no 16-bit evil laugh that is ever going to sound as good as Kefka's laugh.
No, Kefka's that's a big moment. I'm glad you brought that up. Good old Final Fantasy reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great bit. Okay, should we jump to gameplay then?
Let's do it. Gameplay. God, yeah.
I know, right?
Again, this game, out of the gates, bolts. And it doesn't ever stop.
It really doesn't.
No, it does
It doesn't
not.
give you that first level where you get to get used to the controls and like stuff like that. It literally just comes at you. Comes at you hard. Like, it's bullet hell almost instantly.
There's no pacing here. But usually when people talk about pacing, they say, oh, this was boring and it was boring for too long. No, the pacing issue here is the insanity was too high. And it was too high for too long.
I was shocked when I first started this game, and it was like, okay, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. What the hell? There's 12. Well, there's 12 people. What shoot? Well, can I jump? What can I?
No, you need to figure it out now.
You really do. There's no hand holding in this game.
No,
you really do.
No. I wrote it down here somewhere. Here we go. This game is hard and absolutely doesn't wait for you to catch up. Really if you've fallen off the sides, that's on you.
Yes. And another thing I'd note, this game is also a co-op game. So, like I said, you played with your sister.
This
game is a ton of fun co-op, I don't doubt, because... but I did love, like you said, they throw you in deep end. Here, there's your control. You can presume left, right, up and down, do those things. But now just you guess. And there were moments where I was like, okay, shoot. Oh no, that baddie's getting too close. And all of a sudden, my guy would grab him and throw him.
Yes.
And I was like, what? I didn't know that was a thing. I can throw bad guys?
Did you figure out how to do that?
Not at all.
No, me neither.
Accidental button mashing. I was like, whoa.
Every now and then I'd throw someone and I think, how? How did I just do that?
Right? Yeah, I didn't have a clue, but it was cool.
It's so frantic.
Yeah, and you could slide. You could slide tackle people as
Very
well.
cool.
Which I
yes,
only
you can.
found out later on. And there was lots of little bits where, you know that big square monster, like you said, and it came too close to you, and I thought, well, the only thing I could do is jump through him. So he does the whole jump animation, and when he landed, my guy did like a kick, and it was like, and it slowly went through him whilst also damaging him. And I thought, whoa, it was a weird little moment that looked really cool, even though I didn't intentionally mean to do it. So there are little things. I always thought this was going to be a shoot, just shoot things, lots of shooting. But they added those little mechanics where you can throw and jump and slide and duck and stuff like that, which actually was quite impressive.
This entire game is impressive. There are some parts that I think is really good and other parts that I just think, whoa, how? The board game level is one of them. The gameplay just switches entirely.
Yeah,
another part was when the 4 levels complete, you finish the rooftop level and they're into space. Oh, what now? I'll tell you what now. Now you're in a spaceship and you're in a bullet hell level.
Yeah, it's like a classic Gradius type spaceship.
Yes, exactly.
That was cool.
What's the other
twist.
game? 1942. Ikaruga.
That was a great little bit. I was shocked, like, okay, cool. We got 2 classics in one game now. We're playing a nice side-scrolling shooting game. And it wasn't easy either, I might add.
No,
that spaceship segment.
Dude, games in general used to be so much harder.
We get so much hand-holding now. We really do. Checkpoints every, 5 minutes. Explanations. No, we really do. It's crazy. Games back then were super hard.
No exception, this game.
Another a great mechanic this had, which was, again, kind of reminded me of Mega Man, but I think this was the first, where you could combine your weapon types. And
it reminds me of Kirby.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It wasn't just a case where if you got, laser, and then you added it to laser, you got big laser, or... There was that, but if you added laser and, fire, you'd have this whole new concoction to deal with, or lasers with tracing.
Yes.
They were actually weird and wonderful combinations you could come up with in regards to your bullets that you didn't expect. It wasn't just bigger versions or faster versions that actually happened. And then, of course, I came across the Firebender. Okay. If anybody has watched it, Avatar, The Last Airbender, I'm sure most people have, there's firebending. And in this game, you get the flamethrower and you get, the weird little tracer thing. And then you can move...
Is this the green one that follows enemies?
One. Yeah, that's right. And then you could use that by letting a flamethrower bit off, and then you could control the path of the flame, right?
Ooh.
And the cool thing is, your little red in the corner, is actually moving his arms to move the flame.
Really?
I know. I was like, whoa.
Oh, man.
This was crazy. Don't get me wrong. Avatar definitely came out later. But it literally, granted you were vulnerable at that time. You could only stand still, but you could move the flame around the screen wherever you wanted. Like it was a mouse cursor.
Yeah.
It was also insanely overpowered. But it was such a cool... I was like, that is so cool. I didn't expect it. It was a fun little thing to unlock, and it was kind of my go-to gun arrangement through the whole of the game. It was so much fun. And the other combos were so much fun to unlock and just be like, whoa, this is actually quite a really clever mechanic. It's not just bonus firepower or bonus just speed. It really added some fun to it.
That's incredible. You could...
Oh, you should see
it. It is very, very cool.
It is super cool.
And just to add to that, at the start of the level, they do this thing that games didn't used to do at that point. Games like Contra, Streets of Rage, a lot of those games, they made you start with a base weapon, and then you needed to find pickups to change or upgrade your weapon. Castlevania did this as well.
Yeah.
This game, at the start, gave you the option to choose whatever bullet type you wanted.
Yes, that's true. Right at the beginning, that's true. Yes,
it's telling you, this is the options you've got. This is all the options. You can have whatever you like and just go crazy.
Yeah,
games didn't do that back then.
No, it's true. This one did. It's almost like an RPG element, right? Choose your play style if you want the big super gun.
Yes.
And there was fixed and free moving shooting as well. Was one of the first ones you chose, if you remember the tree.
I'm just surprised by the innovation that came from a game that really... I know this is 30 years ago, but I've never, outside of me playing it back then and this week now, heard anyone ever talk about Gunstar Heroes.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm in theory, because I'm older than you, I should have actually heard more people do it because I was the era of it. I do, like I say, I have memories of always seeing it on shop shelves and on top 10 lists and stuff like that. But I never got hold of it myself. Nobody was talking about this game, even though it was quite commercially successful, and it is. Like you pointed out, almost the granddaddy of certain aspects in games that we play now. It
does. Really like the action platformer. I think Mega Man would be the grandfather of the action platformer.
Yes, that's true. That would be the...
But this one seems like a great evolution.
Agreed. And yeah, it's weird that like you said, neither of us truly know this game.
No.
Because it's quite fantastic. And it's weird, the games we do know. Like, we all know Sonic for, say, the Mega Drive, and we all know Streets of Rage and NBA Jam. This game should have been more well known. It's weird. Maybe it's just us where we were living at the time. It was very big in Japan, of course. Can't say that without smiling.
Of course.
Because of the song, if nobody else gets referenced.
Yeah.
But for Treasure, the company, this actually made them a ton of cash. So
I'm glad. I'm so glad. Why. And it allowed them the goodwill to make something with Wario and make tons of other games and make them a lot of money.
Sadly, they slightly died and went off later on. The last game they released was in like 2020 or 2019, and it was like a Wii kind of generic shooter thing that didn't do too well. Yeah, no, it's just quite sad. Hopefully they work at Konami again or something, because they did well. They did a good job. Anything else gameplay?
No, that should be it. Let's move on to another hard bit, the performance. Yes. These older games, I've no idea how to score the performance because
exactly.
They would most of the time just work. Did you? Exactly. I mean, I know there are bugs. These older games obviously do have bugs.
They do.
I think the biggest one would just be the stuttering from too many things happening on screen.
That's exactly the only thing I wrote down. Sometimes there's just so many things on screen, you did slowly see it. You did see it slow down a little bit for frame.
Yes, because even the Mega Drive is struggling to perform.
Yeah, it really would. With this type of bullet hell and all the things that are going on and it keep track of, it just slowed down a bit. But you're right. That's it's performance-wise. These games were made solid. They didn't need patching. They were fundamentally good to go when they went off shelves. Yeah, performance-wise, it was fine. Yeah, a bit of a frame.
I don't understand, again, how this did not melt the Genesis.
Yeah, agreed. Especially when the Genesis was good, but it's the game. It was a game changer when discs came out. The Dreamcast,
of course,
the Sega Saturn, and stuff like that.
Oh, of course, because it allowed you to play things like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, exactly.
Final Fantasy VII. The N64 could not keep up to that. I don't know if the Dreamcast was able.
I can't remember. I remember the Dreamcast was one of those ones that was popular for like a year, then died off. The Dreamcast was Shenmue, right? Wasn't that the one that came out originally?
Shenmue and Knights.
That's right. They had a bunch of Japanese RPGs for the Dreamcast too.
Yeah,
randomly.
I don't. Again, the Sega consoles are my blind spot.
Yeah, same. I went straight as soon as that PlayStation 1 kind of came out. I became a Sony man.
Yes, and we sometimes go to Nintendo, but that's about it.
That's true. Okay, anything else? Performance was fine. So what's value for money?
I think there's a lot of replayability in this game. It's just like the Tiny Toons where you could pick different characters. For an NES game, there's some replayability. In here, you could try different weapon combinations. And I think the franticness of a game like this can... I don't want to say addictive, but you can get so attached on the franticness of a game like this that you would just, for a Friday night, you get back from school, just play Gunstar Heroes because it's cool.
And it's one of those games, like I said, the co-op just gives it another level.
Of course.
Like you said, you come back, you've got your brother, your wife, your sister, you're like, let's just bang out some Gunstar Heroes, shall we?
Of course, you get home from school on Friday, you bring little Jimmy.
No, you really would. And that just gives it a lot, because I've done that with my brother till this day. We're both into our 30s. If we see the Mega Drive is down or mood and there's Streets of Rage there, we'll pick it up and two-player it, because it's what we did as kids. It's great fun. And the same thing, the nostalgia, just picking this game with two players, doesn't matter who you are, you'd have a great time with it. It's just manic and insane and just a good time.
Yes. Apologies, yes. Because the co-op aspect for a game like this just massively increases the value for me.
Yeah, it blows out of the water. Yeah, I agree. The co-op of this game would be insane. Price-wise, I found it interesting. You can purchase this game on Steam for a whopping 60 cents. It's on sale.
No!
It really is, yeah. For 60 cents.
This game isn't getting the justice it deserves.
I know. That again are physical copies, because it's quite a banger of a game. That's where it changes. Hell, original copies of this game, complete in box, is $100. Loose, it's
perfect.
$50.
Oh, you'd love to see it.
Yeah. So this game, if you got one of these sitting in your house or something, look after it. $100 for an original Sega game. That's a lot.
I'm happy to hear it. A good one.
Agreed. Part of me, even just after playing this game, would love to own that now. Just so I could look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is a good game. You know, this should be owned by everybody. So yeah, 60 cents on Steam if you want. Fundamentally, you can also find a bunch of websites that you can play this in your browser.
Just like the NES and SNES
yeah,
games.
Exactly.
You can play them in your browser.
Small. You can just play them in your
Not
browser.
Entirely legal.
Is it not? I never really know.
I don't think it is, because you don't own a copy, and you're also not paying royalties to the publisher and the studio who developed it to access their product.
Well, when's the statute of limitations on a product that's 30 years old?
I don't know.
I don't know. I know Nintendo always kills anyone who tries it, but Sega doesn't, and PC. Oh, anyway, I'm gonna go into a rant, but yeah, I've always wondered that. By all means, okay, then buy it and dust it off, or buy it on Steam for 60 cents. 60 cents is nothing. It's worth 60 cents. It's worth a few bucks, in my opinion.
It really is. This is worth more than 60 cents.
Yeah, definitely. So, but yeah, it is a game which sadly went under our radars. And we feel more sad that we didn't, because this was actually a ton of fun.
It really shouldn't have gone on the radars. Is it because it's not an established franchise?
I'm guessing it's something like that. And I do know, again, back in the day, because it was originally a Japanese game and it wasn't Castlevania and it wasn't
okay.
A lot of American companies or distributors were like, okay, we'll take some, but we don't want to put all our eggs into that basket.
I see.
So it was harder for them to get games
that makes sense.
into the West. Yeah, so it was difficult.
Gunstar Heroes, I think, is a phenomenal achievement for a game released in 1993.
Yeah, damn.
I'm bummed that it didn't get the attention it deserved back then. But I'm glad we can review it and offer it to our audience. It's a good game, damn.
So what did we score this bad boy then?
So our scores for Gunstar Heroes saw somehow that the world is going to end. It saw a big commander man stealing gems, giving it to his henchmen. But good thing is, we've got Gunstar scores, which are our scores in this case, and they're fighting the bad guys. And our Gunstar scores eventually tracked down gold and silver, or I don't know, platinum to bronze.
Yeah.
It killed it in space after a very dramatic sacrifice from our friends. Which is why the narrative is 8 out of 10, Dave.
It's all my fault, is it? Why did you do that, Dave?
We gave it the letter grade rating of B-.
Which I love seeing it, because B- is what we gave Amnesia: The Dark Descent. It's what we gave Mass Effect. And I love it, because it is that good. This game
is.
It's
it
an
really
older
is.
generation, but it is as good as those games. It really is. It's just funny to
I would have liked it to be more influential.
Yes, true.
But B-, yes, I'm happy with that score.
No, it's a great game. Everyone should play it, especially especially if you got someone to play with you. This game would just
this is
just
a great to play game. Come on,
like
Contra, yes.
Yes, exactly right.
Gunstar Heroes, yes, great co-op game.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, pick it up. I really would. I would, even if you just want to go to the history of games and see where things come from. Even youngsters out there, I know, it doesn't even look bad. No. It isn't one of those games where, this aged poorly. No. This actually, it still looks cool in my opinions, because we're old. Maybe it doesn't look cool.
It's got that endearing pixel art look.
It really does. It really does.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Critical Arcade Podcast. If you'd be so kind, you could leave us a review, or don't, that's fine too. You could follow us on our social channels, on YouTube or on Instagram, or you could catch me. I'm Nick at criticalarcade.com.
And I'm Dave at criticalarcade.com.
Besides, for your email, Dave, where else can we follow you?
Well, I am out and about, but if you do follow me, I was lucky enough to talk to one of the developers of this game, and he did show me how to make people very small, like to shrink them out and just put them in the background people. So if you come near me, I do fundamentally have my own shrink ray. So if you want to be... And these things were tiny. I'm guessing if you're...
The size of your foot is quite accurate.
Yeah, so that's about what? Like, I don't know... 7 inches. So yeah, if you want to be 7-8 inches tall, by all means come find me. I always say these things and then I think to myself, that could be fun. What would you do if you were 7
some
inches
people
taller?
would like that.
But you'd never be able to go on like a roller coaster, which who doesn't want to.
Oh, okay. No, that cancels that out.
Yeah, I'm about to say. So yeah, by all means, find me. I will have to shrink you down and I guess make you my henchman.
Do not get shot down by Dave.
Yeah, all those little guys felt like henchmen. Okay, yeah, that's what will happen.
Rather follow us on Patreon for exclusive content like Critical Cinema and our post show, which is good. You should check it out.
Yeah, yes, you should. Yes, you should.
Dave, what have we got lined up for next week?
Okay, next week's game is, again, a game series I've not played. I think you have.
I have. Right? I've played the first one.
We got a game called, I'm going to say it wrong, Senua's Saga?
You did it, yes!
Right, sweet. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. It's got some of my favourite words in it. It's got hell and blade, and I don't mind a saga, so... I look forward to it. I know I've definitely seen this game, and I can picture the box art and stuff like that, right? I definitely can see that. Never played it. Look forward to, though. I know, and was the first one good?
Oh, the first one was phenomenal.
Oh, okay. So
the first one was excellent. So I think the first one was just Team Ninja mucking around in their own time.
Oh, is it Team Ninja?
No, it's Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory making something cool in their own time, and eventually it morphed into just a phenomenal game.
Okay, so I look forward to it. Granted, it's going to be a fun episode because you played the past one and I've never played it, so
definitely it's going to be good.
Be a lot of fun.
Tune into that next week on the Critical Arcade podcast, and we'll see you then. Cheers.